gather around the table once again for another session of Dungeons and Drakfus. And today, or this week in particular, we've got yet another treat. So a couple of weeks ago, we went into the Scarlet Monastery and we did it all in 1 week. This is going to be another one where we're actually going to be taking on a very big instance, and it's going to take the next couple of days to be able to hit all of the wings that are part of this instance. And this place might not look too familiar. We are actually in the area on Kalimdor called Desolace, and people will know from the Cataclysm that things changed, but originally this place was a very desolate land. And in particular, this area is hallowed ground for the Centaurs, because we are now in Centaur territory, and the area we're going into is called Maraudon. Now, I'll admit, I don't know a whole lot on the lore of this place. This is one of those instances I don't know a whole lot of, but thankfully, we have a dungeon journal for that. So at that point, let's go ahead and take a look at Maraudon and the lore behind it. According to legend, Zatar, son of Cenarius, and the Earth Elemental Princess Theodras begot the barbaric Centaur race. So they basically are responsible for the Centaurs being in existence. So they're part Keeper of the Grove, part Earth Elemental kind of thing. Shortly after the Centaurs' creation, the ruthless creatures murdered their father. Oh, geez, well, payback's a beat occasionally. The grief-stricken Theodras is said to have trapped her lover's spirit within Maraudon, corrupting the region. Now, vicious centaur ghosts and twisted elemental minions roam every corner of the sprawling caves. And so, in a lot of cases, this is all considered one instance, but if you run it now in World of Warcraft, it's actually split into 3 wings. And we're going to do it in the form of the wings, just because I want to be able to show somebody an experience brand new. So let's go ahead and get into Maraudon. Now, I've actually done Maraudon, but the lore here is kind of cloudy to me, especially since this is within Desolace, and Desolace isn't exactly an area that I remember a whole lot of lore being familiar to me at that time. And it looks like we're not the only ones going to be going out to farm Maraudon. And I'm not... So here's the thing, too. This also has 3 separate entrances. And we're gonna enter from each one of them. But I wanted to be able to get that open door where it's like you're almost walking into a Centaur tomb, because this technically is like the tomb of Zatar. So you can have that. But first, we're going to start off with what is considered the first wing of it, the Wicked Grotto. And all you have to do is go through this area with purple crystals to be able to do just that. And then we'll go through each of the lores as we go along. Thankfully, we have a Pandaren warrior who's walking around here too, so we don't have to worry too much about things aggroing us, because she'll take care of it for us. I'm not asking her to, but she will. So there's the instance portal. This is what a lot of people actually would call, I guess back in vanilla, Maraudon purple side, and there's orange side, and you can actually start from purple or orange and work your way through the rest of the instance. This also lends a lot of lore because of the fact that the way Desolace looks currently in Cataclysm, there's actually life there, instead of it just being a wasteland. And so a lot of rumor and speculation is that because of the life that is within this place, that is why there's life now up on the surface. Oh, and we do have a quest. So, Corruption in Maraudon. Drakfu, I require your assistance immediately. I am Zatar, son of Cenarius, and I am trapped here after an unfortunate series of events. Before saving me as an option, you must help me clean out the corruption that runs so rampant through Maraudon. Lord Viletongue is the satyr ruler of the Purple Crystal Caverns. He is an insidious agent of the Burning Legion, and his continued presence can only lead to chaos and death. He can live no longer. So you have to kill Lord Viletongue, who is one of the bosses here. So let's go ahead and get things started in the Wicked Grotto. And you'll notice that there's a little bit more of a demon theme in this one, based around the satyrs as well as the imps. We're just going to make our way through here. Hopefully not screwing our inventory completely, but we'll be kind of selective with the enemies just to be safe. There we go. So already I can tell you, like, this has a very unique feel to it. Woo! Don't care about you guys. Ooh, look, more mage weave cloth that we can do stuff with. Okay, so we go down here, and you can see there's tons of bosses in here because it's all still connected if you try to run the instance. But that's all right, because we're just going to keep moving our way through. Thankfully, I have a bunch of AoE abilities now that can make these runs a little bit quicker. I will admit, though, like, the first bit of Maraudon is actually not my favorite, but once we get to the third wing, which is the last leg of it, you're going to understand why I love it. Whee! Continue to make our way through here. It looks like we have a bunch of corrupted treants. I actually wondered when I first ran through here if there was some connection to the Emerald Nightmare because of all the corrupted trees. And to my knowledge, no, there isn't, but, you know, Xavius is the Nightmare Lord, so you could technically make a connection based off of that he is connected to the Emerald Nightmare, and thus this area is. I don't know if I buy into that just yet, because we don't really see Nightmare corruption in this area, but you can make that assessment. Let's see, so we have more satyrs over here and more imps. There we go. And are we coming up on a boss? Nope, not yet. Not yet. Oh, no. Actually, yes, we are. And there he is. So we'll take care of him in a second. Oh, and we have some stealth. Some stealth enemies. Makes sense with the satyrs. So here is our first boss, and it is Tinkerer Gizlock. Tinkerer Gizlock and 5 other gem hunters snuck into Maraudon to mine its highly prized crystals. Their plan went horribly wrong when satyrs slaughtered everyone in the party to save for Gizlock. The goblin, trapped within the caves and driven to the brink of madness, sees himself as the subterranean region's new ruler. Oh, hi. Take my fist. So let's take care of Tinkerer Gizlock. There we go, we have beaten him. We get a little sword out of it. Vocal sword. Oh, look, you guys actually look like you care. Hey, you were stealth, it should have hit you. That's alright, we can fix that. And deeper we go, we can start to see kind of a little bit of Night Elven structure here. There we go. I think, yes, he is this way, so... And believe it or not, since this has been broken up into wings, this is actually one of the shorter instances in the game now. It only has 2 bosses. Granted, the other one would be its sister wing, Foulspore Caverns. We'll get there when we get there. Oh, and here's some classic World of Warcraft music if you haven't heard it before. If I remember correctly, this also plays in Molten Core. Now, people have already been asking, like, when are you going to start tackling the raid instances? Well, I'm level 70 right now, so we're getting closer and closer to the concept that they're easier to do. As soon as I'm done with the instances of a given expansion, or in this case, Vanilla WoW, then I'll start doing the raids as they were intended to be progressed. Now, obviously, there are some instances I can't do anymore because Naxxramas got moved to Northrend, but we'll do Naxxramas when we get there. So you guys can appreciate that. And here is our buddy, Lord Viletongue. Oh, yes, friends. Let's go ahead and take care of them, too. I don't like being stuck up on. No, I don't. So here is the lore of Lord Viletongue. The satyr Lord Viletongue journeyed into Maraudon's depths after hearing of its corruption. Theradros was wary of the conniving demon at first, but Viletongue proved his worth by creating an array of wretched minions, such as Noxion and Razorlash for the princess. So basically, he earned his keep, and therefore gets a place in Maraudon. So with that, hi, I'm Drakfu. Smack. Don't care. And with that, we actually did get a completion for it, so excellent work, Drakfu. Eliminating Viletongue's presence is a key step to freeing me, and ultimately, saving these lands from corruption. Take this as a token of my thanks and an incentive to continue your work here. You hear the jingle of coins coming from your bag. Wow, Zaytar, I didn't realize you had magic gold powers. And that's actually going to go ahead and do it for the Wicked Grotto of Maraudon. So when we come back tomorrow, we're going to be taking on the Foul Spore Caverns, the second wing, or rather the orange wing of Maraudon. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for even more Dungeons and Drakfus.